We're live.
Hello.
20 minutes past when we said we would get here, but that's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's not
I'm
your fault.
sorry. I'm
It's
not
not
good
your
at planning.
fault.
Ugh.
How does the Avatar show start? Is it like fire,
Fire, earth,
Earth.
water, air, the rise of Kyoshi?
The Rise of Kyoshi.
That's what we read. But wait, how has everyone been?
Good.
just working away.
Yeah.
All.
Working away.
Lots
You both
of
are being
work.
very productive right now. I feel like I need to be doing something.
Oh, I just like need to fidget right now. I'm sorry.
I feel that. It's okay. I have a little chicken in my hand.
A little
Yeah,
chicken.
okay. I just
It's
haven't
a fake
eaten
one.
all day, so I'm getting peanut butter toast for the. Oh, I almost dropped my peanut butter toast. It's okay.
You've had such a long day. That would have just been like the cherry on top.
And I would have started crying on the live stream. It's fine.
I would have happily watched that happen in like a
I'm
really
gonna take
sad
out
way.
Knife.
Hey.
I'm back.
Rise of Kyoshi. This was a prequel to the Avatar: The Last Airbender series.
Yeah,
What did we think of it? What did we think of it?
I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it as well.
I also loved it. Is it 5 stars all around?
Yes.
Definitely.
All of us were. Oh,
What did I do? What?
Nothing. I just thought it was funny. I knew. Hugo! I knew that you were gonna say 4 or 4.5. I don't know why. I was just like, it's gonna be 5, 4.5. I was like waiting for you.
For me? Wait, for
Yeah, for you. For rating. What did you say?
yeah.
No, what did you say? I didn't hear anything that you just said.
Y'all, I'm so confused. I 5 stars.
Oh, 5. I thought you
it was
said
5 all around. She didn't say 4.5.
4, and I was like, Emily.
No.
I really thought that you said 4. Sorry.
Hugo and Megan in the comments.
Big love.
Love all around. Oh, you also gave it 5 stars. Everyone gave it 5 stars.
Yay.
Great. I mean, it's a great freaking book.
It was really good. I love the writing. Just
Yeah.
I wish I could say what it was about, but that's not my job.
Is it time for Emily's corner?
I think it's time for Emily's corner. I was gonna try, but I don't know. That is gorgeous. I have it on Kindle. I wish I didn't.
Oh wow.
I tried to listen to the audiobook of this, and I am so bad at listening to audiobooks that, like, I don't know what it is, but I just don't absorb things audibly at all. I got halfway through and was like, I don't know what's happening in this book. I don't know who anyone is. I can't do it. So I had to break down and buy the paper copy because I was like, I have no clue what's going on.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been able to do this. Oh, that is pretty.
Oh, you got both.
Sequel now too.
Yay.
Which I love the cover and the red and everything.
Yes.
So I'm very excited. It's a lot shorter.
It's just a pretty duology.
It really is. I love the style, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading the sequel. Like as soon as I have a moment.
Yeah. So how would we say what it's about? Rather, like, because I was just gonna go, it's about the Avatar, but
yeah. Well, I would say this book is definitely more okay. Like, it takes place in the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you're unfamiliar with the series, there are 4 different, like, kind of, I don't want to say, like, tribes, but, like,
regions.
And within them, people can use one of the 4 elements: earth, water, air, or fire. And there's one person who is the Avatar who can master all 4 elements. And so that is kind of, like, the main premise of the show. We follow the Avatar. In this story, we follow Kyoshi, who is our Avatar, and we know that it's her, even though in the beginning of the book we are kind of told that it's not her, which was a little bit confusing. But we know that it's her. We always have, because of the series. And basically, we follow her on her journey of, like, self-discovery with a kind of ragtag group of friends. how else would you describe? I'm not doing a very good job this time. It's a book.
It's a hard book to describe what it's about. It's kind of like one of those books that like takes you on a journey.
Yeah, and it's and revenge. Yeah, Hugo reminded me. It's a
It's a revenge story.
It is a revenge story.
That was like my favorite aspect of the book too, and I just completely forgot about it.
Well, I was also like, how do we talk about the revenge without spoiling it?
That's
I was
true.
like, I don't know how to. I don't know how.
So I mean, yeah, there's some revenge in there. There's a lot of like, I do think it's a coming of age story as well.
Yeah.
About justice, and it's very, very different than the avatars that we've seen in the shows, and I think that is what stuck out to me the most, is that, you know, Korra and Aang are both, you know, Korra is a bit more like stubborn and can kind of like lash out, but Aang is very like level-headed. He's raised by monks basically, and then we have Kyoshi, who's very angry. Very, is hurting a lot, and I think like that for me was super interesting, because we haven't seen an avatar who's not you know, kind of level-headed about some things. Anyway, I have
Kyoshi's personality was really hard for me to just like pinpoint at some points.
Yeah.
Because she would be like very like presenting as calm, especially towards the beginning, I think, is what I was thinking of. But I don't know how to describe her personality, because she does have that rage to her.
I think she's I think Hugo said it best, like when he's like, it's about justice. I think she has this very strict like moral code. And you know, I don't think it's necessarily like she's also very angry. She's a very angry person. She's been wronged a lot far in her life, and I think and she's very lonely, and I think she doesn't know who to trust. Her guard is always up, and I think that just comes out in a lot of ways, because she's betrayed by these people that, you know, she thought she could trust, that like were sworn to protect her, and I think that would make anyone turn sour.
Well, and also I think it's like compounded by the fact that the other two avatars, I do not remember oh no, Legend of Korra very well. I am far more fresh on just Avatar: The Last Airbender. But the other two were raised, like, light spoilers here, were raised with the like, we found you young, you were raised by monks, you are the one who can bring them all together, this is your destiny. Whereas she spent most of her like early development life, when she should have been training, being told that someone else was the avatar and that she was the servant of said avatar. So to suddenly, I feel like to just have that thrust on you where you're like, oh no, wait, you're the one, and the past like most of your early like developing life where you should have been practicing this was spent doing other things, so you got to play catch up, would be enough to make anybody angry. Like, I can totally see where she just gets very, I wouldn't say she's volatile, I would say she's just more very like, once she's like, okay, shit, I'm the avatar, she's like, all right, we're gonna get down to business, because I'm the avatar with a mission, you know. And she doesn't suffer fools, which I enjoy, even though she can be a fool. But I liked it a lot.
No, piggybacking off of that, because like you said, how like they different from Aang and Korra, how they grew up differently, because they were it was also interesting to see just the role of the avatar before Aang went missing. It was interesting to see how the avatar used to be, how like this political like arrowhead. And we'll get into like more of that when we talk about Yoon, or how I think. But I did like seeing how the avatar was expected to be compared, because with Aang and Korra, they have like very like the world's at stake missions. Like you can't get involved with like other people's affairs, because the world will end if you're not doing anything. But with Kyoshi, it was like they were not like they were just involved with stuff.
They were like negotiators, like peacemakers.
Yes.
Kind of like the Pope.
Heads.
Yeah.
And yeah, because you're right, we didn't get a lot of that in either series, and that's I think why Kyoshi can like almost get away with what she's doing. Like the world isn't in chaos right now. Itself, it's much more about her and her like internal struggle.
Yeah. So do you think it was a proper medium to tell her story? Megan doesn't think that her story would have worked as well as a TV show because of that, or just in general.
Oh, I want a live action TV adaptation of this, specifically live action.
Why live action?
Really well. I don't know why. There's certain aspects of her story that for me, I'm not sure would translate to the fruition that I want to in animation. Although, I don't know. There's just something about it. I really want a live action of this. Like I really want a live action of this. I don't know.
I can definitely see where you're coming from. I just think like all live actions that like have to incorporate the amount of CGI necessary to pull off something like this just be so like poorly done. I mean, then like they've let me down every time so far. But I think like I actually do think a book was the proper medium for this because I really liked being in Kyoshi's head and like understanding what she was thinking and going through and how these decisions like molded her internally as well as externally. And I mean, I think animated it would still be great. I think it would be really compelling in its own way. It's not as like it's not as it's very like heisty.
Yeah.
Feisty. And my only worry about like translating it to like screen somewhat is that I think people would get bored.
Well, and I like things that make people bored a lot. So to be honest, there's so many. It was so good, and people are like, it was so slow, and I'm like, but there was so much development. Like there wasn't a plot. I'm like, I don't care.
Logan is not second, character first, which is great. So
always. I would say yes, but I think there's just something different in that, like, I don't know. I just think that there's so much, like, Aang was still, correct me if I'm wrong, but Kyoshi's older than Aang and Korra in this. She's a lot older than them when she's like, you're really?
Oh, Korra is 16 when we see her.
No, but Korra was discovered when she was a baby. Like, remember?
But then she was told she wasn't the Avatar because she was raised serving Yun until the book starts. She wasn't.
Yeah, but I think she's only like 14.
Kyoshi's 14.
I thought she was like 18.
Oh, she also 16?
I thought she was like 16 or 17.
Oh, I also thought Aang was 12. So
is he not?
I thought he was 12. Didn't you guys just say he was 16? Yeah.
Aang is 12. Okay.
No, yeah.
Yeah. And Korra was able to do all the elements when she was little. She just had to train for them.
So, but Aang also knew from a young age that he was the Avatar. Like he is young, and he was untrained, but he also like knew. Versus like Kyoshi never knew, and she wasn't a good bender. She was a strong bender, but she was never good at it. Like they talk about that a lot. Like even earthbending, you know, she was good at moving mountains, but she couldn't do pebbles.
Yes,
she didn't do subtlety.
That was cool too.
Yeah.
I agree with this. I want it as a cartoon, but rated R for violence.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I agree with this completely. Trying to think of other spoiler-free stuff. Like buy rep. Anything we can talk about on that branch without?
I mean, I think the way it was done, I really liked that they like hinted that she had a crush on Yun and the other guy. Oh my gosh, I'm literally blanking. The guy from the company that they join.
Blanking. I do not know any names.
That's okay.
I don't remember, and I read this yesterday.
But like, I like that they hinted that she had a kind of was like into both of them in their own way, but like then she also had like her girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
thought it was well done.
The story was like its own thing, right? Like it their romance was like in it, but it was not about that.
Yeah. I love Rangi is my favorite character. Hands down my favorite character.
Same.
Probably one of my favorite characters of this entire universe, to be honest. Like, I love her
I can see that.
so much.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
I really loved like her duty to the Avatar.
Yeah, that whole honor thing.
Just her honor code, and then like it just doubles with like her duty to Kyoshi, and then it's just 2 for 1.
I love the Fire Nation rep, like
yes,
like how the Fire Nation was just like a really well-respected people who had core values and like their own culture and everything, but they weren't like feared. They weren't like tormentors in any way or anything like that. Like they were just another nation.
They were just on their stuff. They were just on their stuff. I love the like. I really liked all the like the Fire Nation's test of like, this is how we know that you're the Avatar. It was so simple that I was like, oh well, that will be great.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. But also, Aang also knew they didn't know who the Avatar was yet. Kyoshi thought the Avatar was done. Like the cycle was just doing its thing.
Was somebody else, yeah. And also oh god, that whole, not to spoiler yet, but that was really good. I don't know. I think that's why I kind of want live action, is because I feel like if a horror director got a hold of this, it would be so good.
What are you talking about? Look me in the eyes. Communicate with me.
Look me in the eyes.
Look me in the eyes.
I'll tell me what to think. We're on spoilers.
The what?
Inciting incident to everything that happens.
The inciting incident.
Oh,
the ceremony, yeah.
Okay.
I think I
feeling like it's in like a cave almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that scene now.
One could say there were out-of-body experiences had on both ends.
That was a good one. Oh man.
I just want this to be directed by like a horror director or somebody. Not James Wan. No, I love James Wan, but I want not like a Conjuring style horror.
Oh, okay.
More like a
Cat in the Hat type horror.
Stop it. That book that movie is gold.
That movie scared the hell out of me.
That was amazing.
It scared me so much. Who would be good at it? I want the director of Hereditary to do this. Like I don't know why, but I want like, it would be so good. It would be so good. Or who's the dude that did the like, oh god, what is his name? They just did a Fantastic Four reboot that the acting was not the best in, but the directing was really cool because it was directed by a horror director, and it was so cool. And also the best use of their powers that I've ever seen in a TV show, animated or live action, in my opinion. And that's where I'm like, they're very similar elements the way that he did it, and that's why I'm like, I feel like that specific brand of horror thriller would be so good for this book.
Are you talking about the one with Miles Teller?
Yeah.
The reboot?
Yeah. It was, I loved the way it was executed. Again, the acting wasn't the best, but it's so good.
I have not seen it, but
he did Chronicle. That's all I know.
There you go.
There
you go.
I guess I'm the word.
Anyway. What else do we want to say that's non-spoilery?
I mean, I think in terms of just bi rep, like in general, I think it's a really good representation of it. And I think this has been like the book that I think has like focused on it the least. And I also like just really appreciate that as well. Like I just I like that, you know, we can have representation without like you know how like people like assume everyone is straight until they're not, right? I like that we can have books that don't just like it's like it's just a, you know, they don't have to come out to the reader or anything. Like it just happens, and it's just like it's normal. You know,
like Kyoshi, Korra, we keep winning.
Exactly. Well, and it's not like a big like oh, I'm so concerned, I'm so confused and everything. Like she's just like, yeah, Dad, this makes sense. I love her. Like how it is.
Well, and I also liked the way when they were discovered the first time after like the first time. I love the way that she's like that. It's not a like, oh my god, we have to hide it or whatever. It's just like a yeah, I like both. Fuck off. And he's like, I wasn't gonna say anything. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit. Yeah, it was really great.
Books where the character is questioning or dealing with internalized biphobia and everything, like they are important. They do have a place, but I do think having books like this is equally as important in order to help normalize that experience and, you know, make it more accessible to readers, like people who are reading Avatar and, you know, and they're now exposed to it without it being like, oh yeah, and by the way, you know, and
Right.
introduce a whole new audience to this kind of literature without it being thrown at them. You know what I'm saying?
I did, even to build off of that, I did enjoy how this book could stand alone from the Avatar TV.
Yes.
Like it could. It didn't rely on you knowing everything about like that. It was just a prequel, but it was really good. I enjoyed that.
I definitely do think it helped that I had seen Avatar before reading this, just especially with those introduction chapters. I was like, what's happening? I'm confused. But then once you get in, there's a lot of Easter eggs too. When you get into it though, the flow of the book's just really nice. Like I loved the writing of it so much. Like I'm so bad with descriptor words, but like this one had like descriptors as like the action, and it was just like I like when that's how the books trick me. If you want me to read your entire book, you got to make the descriptor words be action too. So I'll read the whole thing.
Same. I agree with you. I had that same because I have a same problem where I'm like, you could take out 3 adjectives in every sentence, and I would like this better, you know. And I really liked the way that it worked here. It was just very well done.
It read really easy.
Yeah,
it did. Also, the description of the bending was so cool. I really liked
the action scenes were really good in this book.
Oh, it was so well done. It was so well done.
100%. I like that, like, we got to, like, once again, like, we got to hear their internal monologue, like, what it felt like to actually bend the element, like, how it affected them physically as well. Also, like, them, like, running on the dust.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
I was like...
That was the coolest scene for me.
Oh, it was so cool.
I was like, think of that. Have we seen that before? Is that something that they do?
I don't remember.
I don't think so, but I haven't. Again, it's been like years since I've seen either of these. So
I watched them during quarantine
very seriously. So
I wanted to, and then I didn't. I don't know why. I don't know what happened there. But
are we in spoiler territory? Oh wait. Yes, I do agree.
True.
You make a good point, Hugo.
I agree. I definitely agree because there was definitely an advantage.
Do you think that non-Avatar people will pick this book up like as a first?
No,
do you think?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure. I was like, on one hand, I'm like, oh, it's a beautiful cover. So if I was just cover shopping, I would totally be like, you know,
yeah.
I think, like there's probably people who would, but I don't think I've never even seen this in a store.
Weirdly,
I saw the second one at Target yesterday.
Really?
No, yeah. This is hard to come by. I had to go to 4 different bookstores to get this. Thank you, Skylight Books, for saving me. But I saw the other one in Target, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, and like one other. Like everywhere is the second one.
I mean, Kyoshi did really well as far as I understand, and so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they are if like because of that the second one is like they're hoping to get like a larger part of the fan base, especially because like during last summer, like when everyone started rewatching the series.
Oh yeah.
Really. Well, sorry. What were you gonna say? Okay. I interrupted you and I said sorry.
I was just saying yeah.
Oh.
Okay. But spoiler talk?
Spoiler
talk?
Spoiler? Spoil it.
I don't know. Spoilers. I just want to talk about the scene. The instigating scene.
Here has
just
read
my
it.
notes. Mhm.
What did you say?
Someone describe what happens in the scene, and then I'll read what I wrote in my notes.
We're talking about the cave scene, the
cave scene, yeah, the out of body.
Go ahead, Logan.
Okay, so it's like when they get to the point where they're like, here's the thing, we've thought that Yun is the Avatar forever, but you know, after ye old little iceberg, could be you too, Kyoshi.
It was after she did poetry. It's after she was singing a little a ditty. She was singing a song.
And
I'm sorry, that scene was really funny.
I know. Oh my god.
She was singing, and they was like, "Did you put your name in the goblet of fire, Kyoshi?"
It really was like that.
It literally was. But like, Janzu shows up and is like, I have a test to figure out which one of you is. You're gonna go into the Avatar state, which means they're like out of body meditating, which was super cool to hear described because I really enjoyed the way that she was like, I couldn't turn my head, but I could look the other way. And lo and behold, is a demon that's like, I need their blood, and then I can tell ya which one's the Avatar. And he takes their blood and is like, that one, Kyoshi, she's your main person. That's your main one. By the way, BT dubs, just, I know it's out of contract, but this is like my fee. I'm gonna eat him. And the demon eats Yun, which is one reason why Kyoshi is so traumatized. Is this human being that she has devoted her entire life to, she just and she may have had a little bit of a thing for, finds that within the span of like 2 minutes, she finds out, oh, he's not who he said he was. I am, which like lots of pressure. Oh, and my best friend is now been eaten by a demon. So it was thusly, I want a horror director to get a hold of this.
That scene was terrifying. Like, that's the one scene that, like, I'm usually bad at remembering books. That scene is stuck with me this entire month. Like, at every like moment, just engraved. And then Kelsang following them into the cave and being like,
oh.
And my notes, he was just really like, he was like standing really tall. And in my notes, I'm like, Daddy, sorry, Daddy, sorry. And then Jianzu or whatever just slices him up like immediately. And then I was like, Daddy, no.
Oh my god. And the way that they described it, the way that like she's like Janzu literally like he was Kelsang was fighting to it was like, I don't know,
it was rough
or something, or like, you know, like stow his friend, like calm his friend down, but Janzu was here for a different purpose, and just one to the jugular and he's gone. Like, oh,
that was rough because I really liked, I mean, you're supposed to like Kelsang, but like he was like his buddy.
I love Kelsang so much. He was so good.
For him to get sliced in front of Kyoshi was #rough to watch.
That's also her father figure, because her parents left her.
Yeah, because they were like gang leaders, and they were like,
that was amazing, by the way.
Leave my baby.
I love that entire gang so much. I love them all.
I feel like they would have been really fun in a TV show. I feel like I would have connected to them more in a TV show, just because I kept, just my brain was in other places when they were on the page.
It was very it's very Six of Crows TV show vibes to me specifically.
Okay, the TV show, yeah. The book, not so much.
Not the book, the TV show.
I think my issue is that like with the gang, and like this happens to me when there's like a lot of characters in a scene or something, I had a really hard time differentiating people. And because I wasn't used to reading names kind of like they were in this, because they're all very like Asian influenced. I like had a really hard time keeping names straight between people, because a lot of them would be spelled similarly, and my eyes would like switch letters around, and I would be like, wait, that person is here now, and I just had a hard time with that. And like, so with the big scenes with a lot of people, I had to like really focus.
That's where the audiobook did help, was with all the names, because the names are spelled similarly but they're pronounced very differently, so it was good to get the like solid pronunciation in my head for once. And like have it there.
I would listen to the audiobook like for that reason. I think I would have a much easier time with that.
It's free on YouTube. That's why I tried it first. It's fully free on YouTube. It's just I can't.
Wow.
It's long, and I can't. And I tried to play it on double speed, which I already don't do well with for anything. And I didn't absorb anything besides the pronunciation of the names in like 2 seconds, and it was it.
Fair enough.
So yeah.
Yeah. How was your audiobook experience, by the way? Because I remember you hating it.
The problem is I love audiobooks where they don't try to do voices. They just read the dialogue like an actor would. And this one was very heavy on the voices, and I appreciated where they're going for, because they were trying to emulate the cartoon, but it was so forced and so like just if you're gonna do that, hire other actors to read the dialogue. I don't know.
Hugo said that for him, it was just very slow. Like the reading of it was very slow.
No, yeah, that's why I put it on double, was because it was as if they were speaking this slow on every single sentence. And then we would have voices, and then we would have low voices. And I was like, good for you for having that kind of range, but I can't hear it. I can't.
Please do an audiobook. Like, this has been a theme for a year. Please, someone hire Logan to do the audiobook.
I would love to. It might not be what most people look for in audiobooks.
I've only listened to one audiobook fairly recently, and like, not to plug JB Taylor, but it was for his book Unplugged, and the actress for his audiobook was phenomenal.
Okay.
She did like different like English accents, like an Australian accent and stuff like that, and I listened to her on like 2.5 speed, and I understood every single word.
Dude, nice.
And she did a great job. So I mean, not to like plug that book, but like
keep plugging it.
That one was good. I'm almost done with it, but again, it's only an audiobook, and I can't absorb audiobooks. So I had to restart it because I got confused.
So
the creepy mentor figure of the gang for guys named the Immortal Dude. I feel the same. Okay, so for the gang with me, I had trouble keeping track of like their personalities. Like none of them really stood out to me. But whenever I was reading, it was kind of okay. So like picture like a nice crowd of people, and I'm like, I don't know who any of these are. Like, and then in the corner is like a shadowy figure, just like menacingly staring. That was this guy to me. Like I'm like, oh, he's here.
Oh,
he
was interesting.
We haven't met someone who was like really like him, and I never really understood like what his like motivation was. Like he kept being like, I'm a good guy, I only kill bad guys, like these corrupt politicians and stuff like that. And like he was kind of like a foil to Kyoshi in a lot of ways. Like he and Kyoshi both had this like very strict moral code, and like he was like, are you willing to sacrifice everything to do like what is right? And when they break into that house to kill the like governor kind of guy, or the mayor, or like whatever he was, and like Kyoshi found out that it was this like young boy, and she couldn't do it, but he was like, he's corrupt and he's doing bad things, and she's like, people can change, and he's like, will they though? And like, I don't know, like it was like, I think it was like really like messed up, and then or maybe he's more of a foil of like Kelsang. Like he's just like very. I think he taught Kyoshi like things that she needed to understand in order to be a good avatar, but at the same time, like a lot of what he was saying like was not very like good.
No, I agree. I think it was very. I do think he's supposed to be a foil for Kelsang in that, because a lot of like with especially now I'm blanking on the plot, but I don't remember if it was Janzu or Kelsang that was like with Yun was very like, all of your decisions matter, and all of these things have to be morally correct, and like we can't kill anybody, we can't have like Yun and whichever one trained him, I can't remember, were very pacifist about a lot of things, like very pacifist about a lot of things. And I think he was an interesting foil too, where he was like, we're gonna be moral, but also sometimes more like the morally correct choice is very violent, you know. And I just liked that difference, you know?
I think this just highlights how many like really good conversations were in this book and just all these like moral dilemmas, which I really liked. Like sidetrack to Yoon's training. I really liked seeing how just because he couldn't bend all the elements, he could only bend earth, how he directed his energy towards the political side of being the Avatar. And it was just really cool to see how much he cared about that and how to like kind of save the nations in a way.
His best. And like that's like what is magic about his story is that like he like for his whole life as the Avatar like just thought he wasn't enough and that like he just like wasn't trying hard enough, right? And they like low-key abused him in that one scene. And like he's just sitting here thinking like, oh, I'm not good enough, you know, I'm a horrible Avatar. And he's just like, he wasn't even the Avatar, and that's not his fault. And like just like how heartbreaking just for him to like
I'm sorry just to learn that. No, I'm agreeing. Just to learn all that information and then be betrayed by one of the men who trained you and like chose you as the Avatar.
Yeah. Your father figure gets you done at. Like it was awful.
It really and like the fact that like he had the audacity to be like, no, I did the right thing. Like
but that also just like made him such a good villain because I love it when like it's like I did the right thing. Like I'm sorry you guys are mad. Like I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and it was also an interesting foil like on that villain side. I loved how I can't remember what her name is, but Rangi's mother
her
was on that political team too, where like they're like, we've trained, you know, we have literally a reputation of training avatars. Like we are politically this powerhouse. We cannot lose who the real Avatar is now. It was such an interesting foil of like the old guard versus the new guard, you know? It was so good. I liked it.
Like, and they were the past Avatar's best friends.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, and I don't know. There's just so many different layers that I think we could definitely go into. It's just very interesting and you know their relationship with Karuk and just how that changes everything as well.
Flash forward to all the times we saw Kyoshi in the series.
No, for real.
Yeah.
Right. Talking about this before the stream and because Kelsey was like, "Is this the guy that like on trial for?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then Aang is like, "No, I would never do that. The Avatar is like a harbor of peace." And then Kyoshi like full on takes over Aang's body and is like, "Nah, I totally kicked that man. He for real."
That is incredible.
Kyoshi, thank you.
Thank you.
I love that this book is canon. Like it honestly makes it better.
It's so good. I also something I really did I really appreciated the inner dialogue for Kyoshi and Rangi's.
Are we gonna talk about them now?
I'm gonna
so cute. Go start ranting, dude. They were so cute.
That was the cutest first kiss scene I have read in so long. Yeah. And I love that it kind of foiled the way that she and Yun had like a thing, and they were like, we almost leaned in to kiss and then we didn't, but we always thought about it afterwards. And then she's like, I couldn't miss my shot again, and she kisses her and she goes, and in that moment I realized that I was not that Rangi is a true believer, but not only in the Avatar, in me. And I was like,
all the tension in those like training scenes.
I know.
So good. Like I texted this while I was reading it. I was like, never has a bi book club book made me so lonely. Like I was like,
oh my god.
I loved them like waking up next to each other and the one woman being like, am I missing something?
When did this happen?
Yeah, she was like, oh, sorry to wake you guys up from your slumber on the beach.
Slumber on the beach.
As Rangi's head's literally resting on her chest. Like, it was so cute. I was just like adorable.
Yeah, I really like the relationship between them. And like, you know, I don't know, like the scenes where like, remember when like Rangi, like when they were trying to like oh, God, I'm having a really hard time like explaining. But the scene where that like mob boss was there, the Daofei boss, and then Kyoshi's like, wait, where's Ranji? And then like they look over to the stage and like there she is.
Yes.
I cry.
Oh my God.
That scene like played like a freaking movie in my head. I was like, and then the camera pans and there's
Yes.
Ranji, and she's like, yeah, I'll challenge you.
Yes.
So good.
And then she won.
Ah,
Y'all. Anyway.
it was
Sorry.
so good. Rangi is my favorite character. My favorite. It was so good. It was so good. Like I would say Rangi or Katara are just my people.
I just remembered something about this book that I had forgotten about.
Yes.
Jianzu tracking Rangi instead of Kyoshi. I forgot that. Like he got the mole things from the cartoon, which I loved. Was just that was a cinematic moment where he's like, get the animals from the zoo, and it, like you have fans from the show being like, no way. And then it's like they appear, and then he gave stuff that like belonged to Rangi to them, so they would track her because like he knew that she wouldn't separate from Kyoshi.
I know, how sweet.
I know. I also that was another moment with terrifying. That was
Maza, we recommend it. It's 5 stars from all of us.
Do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Read it
if you love
especially if you love the show.
Do it. That's another one though. That's another scene that I think a horror director would do really well with. Just the way that it was described, like they're underground, and then the dirt gives way to the fact that they're under them. I was just like, that's so unsettling. I'm like, ugh.
You're so right, and I like the more you talk about it, the more you're kind of selling me on a live action. I was against it at first. I was like, no, cartoon, but like we're picking directors now.
I just every time that they try to do something with this movie live action, I just get really disappointed. Well, the movie is, the movie.
We're talking about Kyoshi.
It's the live action.
No, but hearing about like the new live action and that like they're literally changing everything about it, I just like
They are?
I haven't heard much about it.
The original creators who were working on the show quit because they kept putting down their ideas and like the things like they're making Aang older, they're making Zuko older, I think too, and Katara and stuff like that. Like they're making them like, because Aang is 12 and like Katara and Sokka and them are like 14 and 15. Like they're a little bit older. Yeah, they're making them like 17, 18 or something like that. Like they're kind of, I feel like making it like Shadow and Bone.
Oh.
I swear to God. And to the point where like the original creators that like everyone was so excited because they're like, oh my God, finally we're going to get like a good, accurate rendition of this show. They kept like not taking any of their ideas or suggestions. They quit. Like they literally quit. And I don't even want to support the live action anymore because of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we can let that happen. We can let it happen and then we'll come in. Don't worry. We'll sneak in and like while everyone's upset about that, we'll just drop this bombshell of a movie adaptation of Kyoshi. No one will see it coming.
I think if you had the right director and like the right cast and people were like, yeah, we're going to make it book accurate, I think it would be great. And that's just that I always just get really tense whenever anyone suggests it because I'm like, they keep fucking it up.
Yeah. You know who's a really good horror director that I think would do really good with this? M. Night Shyamalan.
Really?
That is funny because it kind of does work. But
no, stop. I'm joking.
Okay, I was like, you know what? I can follow you here. I can follow you, but that's also really funny. Like,
thank you.
That's fucking hilarious.
I want to go through that again.
Oh no. Oh God.
So Kyoshi.
Oh, what else did I want to talk about? There was one thing I wanted to talk about. I don't remember what it was.
I know.
Chelsea. Oh, Shyamalan was responsible for that.
Did you guys not know that?
No.
That's why I made the joke.
I mean, I really don't like him very much anyway, but I did not know
He directed the first live action movie.
Yeah, remember when the guy who played Jasper in the Twilight series played Sokka?
No, you can't talk about that because in my Walt Disney costume in the winter, I looked like him. I'll drop the photo later.
Oh no.
But I was like crying at work and I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh no.
Oh.
That made my day 10 times worse.
Oh no. My
dad always jokes about that too, because my dad really likes the series, and then like he hates the movie, and he's like, yeah, what were those directors thinking? They were like, okay, so for the funny side character, like older brother that like everyone loves, who should we get? The guy who played Jasper in Twilight.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Which he's a great actor, don't get me wrong, but like not
no, but they also rewrote Sokka to be like, oh yeah, I'm the man.
It's Sokka. How dare
oh my god, I forgot that they said his name like that. Sokka.
How dare you disrespect?
Oh god. Oh. It's kind of interesting that I've had white people.
They put Zuko's scar on the wrong side. Maybe we're living
That's
in
a good point.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm like having a really hard time interpreting this comment.
No, M. Night Shyamalan, a person of color, had white people as the main characters, like changed the ethnicity of them to white, and then made people of his own ethnicity the villains.
That is so fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
I didn't even notice that.
I mean, it's been years since I watched that.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. Never again.
I'm so sorry. I did not see it in theaters. I saw it on like I don't remember what it was. It was like the Cartoon Network at my grandma's house or something.
They didn't
like,
play.
It was really
It's
bad.
TV.
We didn't have cable growing up, so I would watch at grandma's house, depending on the day. It was Dancing with the Stars, Grey's Anatomy, or The Avatar. The Last Airbender, and then they made the movie, and I was like, movie, and then I was like, oh, the movie.
Yeah,
you know,
it's literally like that Players Theater that in that one episode, like that's the really bad red.
No, you're right.
It's like we're living in that universe, and that's our version of that show.
Yeah. Oh no.
You say that, and I remember just that one scene from the movie where it had like 4 guys doing this advanced like marching number, and then they were all 4 of them were just moving like a singular pebble towards a person.
It was so slow too. You know, like that is.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the book, Kyoshi's like moving a mountain by herself. Like, that was good.
In order to
have a what?
Have a flame in order to bend fire. It has to come from somewhere. Well, in the show, it's clearly explained like it has to come from the soul.
Right.
But they have to have like a candle or fire.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh. There's just a lot of lore.
That is some good. I really, I think that we need you go here more often because you're remembering things that I did not.
I don't remember anything.
Movie, like in the movie, they made it like waterbending where like the fire had to come from a flame already versus like in the show, like they definitely talk about how the fire comes from, and Ranji talks about it too. Like she's like, it come like from you.
Okay, I misheard that. I thought that he also said that that's how the book was because I remembered something of like one of them can't come from.
I agree.
Something, but I couldn't remember. Stormy, why are you biting my fairy lights?
Huh? Oh, sorry, it's the.
That's actually really funny.
That's funny.
They had fun. They had fun compiling that cast.
Oh, very much, very much.
I just the universe in the show, and I think they did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
How did this book end? I just
cliffhanger.
Yeah, it was like
so
undid his hood.
Remember, like okay, so Jian. I keep calling him Jianyu, and I know that that's not his name.
It's Janzu, is how they said it. Like literally, how they said it on the thing was just Janzu. Like throw it all, yeah.
So he shows up, gets Katara. Katara kills him. Like
Kyoshi,
not Katara.
Literally kill me. Okay. So,
I was really picturing Katara like this wasn't 100 years before.
I have literally done that like ever since we started reading this book. I've called Kyoshi Katara like 100 times.
I've almost called her Korra. A lot of
I
K
did
names.
almost call her Cora.
Oh, yeah,
It's because when she gets angry, she reminds me of Korra.
for real. But then what does she do? She goes into the avatar state, does that whole shebang, and then all of a sudden she goes, oh, Karuk, and it's the past life. Hi, Stormy.
Yeah, but also Yun.
Oh yeah, and Yun comes back.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I remember there's like that showdown of like just Will, and then Yoon just walks in.
Yeah, and he's like, what's
up?
That's literally what he does.
He's like, what's up? Sorry, she keeps trying to bite things that are on my bookshelf, so I'm holding her so that she
Stormy, don't bite things unless it's My Lady's Choosing or Labyrinth Lost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, no, I kid you not. Both of those books are loaned out to people right now, is the funny thing. My friend, do you remember Shauna Sloan, Emily?
Yeah, I know who Shauna is.
Shauna took My Lady's Choosing on a road trip with her boyfriend.
Oh, I love that book. I love it so much. I want to reread it.
All right.
That's cool.
Anyway, though, the end of the book.
Oh my god, that's right. Okay, Hugo just re-explained the ending of the book.
Can you say it louder?
Yeah.
Can you tell the class, please?
Kyoshi
The class.
and Jianyu are holding up the building. They're equally as strong because like she's trying to like hold it together. He's trying to like collapse it on top of them. And Yun shows up, takes a pebble, and puts it on from one side of his chest to the other through his heart like a bullet. It just
it was badass. Oh wait, so did we expect the ending? Because if a character dies but it's not shown, it's possible that they didn't die. I was like, there's no way they killed him, but also as I kept reading, because it was a longer book, I was like, okay, maybe he's not dead, but it's because that the demon was from the spirit realm.
Yeah.
And I was like, Korra and Asami, like, you know, not spoiler, like just they visited it. Just like there's the spirit realm was a big part of Korra season like 2 or 3 too.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, he's just hanging out there. He's having a little training moment.
He's having a little training moment. I thought he was dead. I was very like, she killed 2 people within 3 seconds of each other.
That was just such a good scene.
I honestly like didn't give it a second thought. I was just like, nah. Yeah.
I liked him a lot though, because I did like how much he cared.
I loved him. That was in my notes where it did feel like it went from 0 to 100 really fast at that moment. Literally in my notes, I went, he killed 2 people. Like
that scene was like rapid fire.
I was like, oh, that's
like the perfect scene doesn't exist. No, show them that. That was amazing.
And it was well written too. That would help a lot.
Ow, it was so good. I also liked the exploration of like Stormy, don't. I'm trying to eat my microphone.
Stormy? No.
Stormy, stop. This isn't you.
Ma'am. I liked the way it is her. This is her at least once a day. But she will literally do this thing where she will jump from in all of our rooms. She jumps on something, so she'll jump from my bookshelf to the top of the door, because if the door is open, and she will balance on the door, and she does that on all 3 of our doors, and then she meows at us because she's stuck on the door, and we're like, you did this. You did this, ma'am. And I'm like, it's a time. Anyway, though, I love was it Lek who was the one who like in the gang, the member of the gang that
I don't know the gang members.
Okay, so there's one member of the gang that after her parents like were like, she's
the one who was like,
the one that they
as a
found
parent. That was
and
so
adopted
That's
and raised. That
I love when that happens.
Oh, hard to deal with. That was, oh my goodness.
Oh no, Kelsang told Kyoshi that she and him had time to ride around the world. I wasn't expecting him to arrive at the cave. I think that was my thing. I didn't expect him to come with them.
I did not think he
think it through to follow.
Same.
I don't know. I didn't really give it a second thought. Maybe that's on me.
It's okay. That was me with the gang stuff, but I did like how he had all that angst over like, no, they were good parents. What do you mean? And she's like, oh, they left me in a dumpster.
For real.
Like, who
Which
are
is
you to
where
tell
they
me?
found you. They literally replaced me with you. Like,
Yeah.
That whole side plot I thought was really compelling and well done. And the fact that her mom was an airbender who was
Yeah,
the Alpha.
that was cool. I forgot about that.
For real.
oh,
I love that, like, that's how they incorporated the fans, like where that comes from.
That was cool. I just yanked my headphones.
Warriors and the OG.
That was really cool.
I did also. I'm not gonna lie. I watched the entirety of Avatar: The Last Airbender and Katara and didn't pick up on the fact
Korra.
that oh yeah, sorry, and Korra. It's fine. It's not fine, but it's fine. I didn't pick up on the fact that the reincarnation of the Avatar follows the different elements, that it's fire, earth, water, air. I didn't pick up on that until we read this book.
Really?
It had to be written in front of
Kyoshi
me.
is Roku, and then is Aang, and then is Korra.
Yep.
When are we getting our Roku book? Is my question.
Yeah. Can we have the fall of Roku after this?
No, honestly, I loved Avatar Roku, and I would actually genuinely love to hear like what he did.
I wonder how copyright.
No, there's a bit about it, but I want a book.
There is a I don't remember what I was gonna say.
That's okay. I have to leave somewhat soon because apparently I have 15 minutes.
You have a what in 15 minutes?
Dinner apparently.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Well, do we have any closing thoughts about this book? I don't know. I liked it.
It's reignited my childhood want to be a waterbender. What benders are all of you? Did you guys ever take those like quizzes and stuff?
I didn't watch it till I was older.
Hugo,
that makes sense.
And I've been told my entire life I would be a firebender, but I am not. I am a firebender, but I am like a Ranji firebender. I'm not like an evil guy. Okay,
I'm a cool firebender.
You're flame.
I watched the show for the first time in quarantine, so I never took those quizzes, and I never had like child. So I don't know what bender I would be. What would I be? I don't know.
What do you think? Hugo's probably the best to figure this out.
Hugo, sort me.
Fire. What do you think?
Fire.
Fire. You're like a Ranji firebender. I'm more of a Azula. No.
Okay, but real talk. Did anyone get the? Remember when?
You're more General Zhao.
Oh.
I'm okay with that.
Did you guys catch when they called Ranji a hot woman?
Oh yeah.
They said, calm down, hot woman, and I was like. Like it's like that one episode where he was like, "Hello, Hotman. Hello, Hotman."
Yeah.
Fucking genius.
Oh, so good.
And they're like, they joke about it because they're like, no one has called anyone that in like over 100 years. And I was like, I'm so glad they brought that back.
Oh, I love it so much.
Oh, well, that's a fun note to end this on.
You know what I really liked?
Tell me, Hugo.
When they were talking about the hair, Ranji was talking about the hair.
The top knot.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And there was something about sometimes they shave the whole head if they're like lost a big acne kai or something, like, and it's out of shame or dignity or whatever. And then like Zuko, like he was completely bald except for the knots. So because
it's sacred.
Yeah, he lost his acne kai to his father, and he was really ashamed of that. And I don't know. Really got explained to them.
Yeah,
that made me sad though, because it just reminded me of what they sent Kyoshi to tell her that they had Ranji.
Oh god.
They cut it. Oh, that was horrible. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to end that on. Hugo, what kind of bender's Megan?
Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the hair lore was really good.
Yeah, for real. And that scene actually did make me cry. And you know, it all makes sense now because I always was like, why does Zuko have this ugly ass haircut? No one else has hair like this. And it like never made
makes sense.
And now, I mean, I don't know when they thought of this lore for the whole hair dance, but if you know that was a thing that they had spoken about before, it actually just like adds such a deeper level to like when you rewatch the series.
No, I love that. I want to rewatch the series now. I want to. I also am going to have a pick me moment for a second and probably carry this around for another week, even though I'm done with it, because I need to. I haven't seen the voice actor of Zuko since then. I haven't seen him since that appointment, and I need him to come in so I can be like, look what I'm reading. I'm a fan. Hi. Huh?
We can also buy the sequel and walk around.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. That's true. Hugo's motivating me to be a better consumer. Anyway.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming. This was really fun. Good book.
Thank you. I'm sorry I was late.
It's okay. Oh, wait. Some people haven't heard this story. You might want to end it on that story. It's a fun story.
I met Dante at work.
That happens when you live in LA, I guess.
Just LA thing.
Actually, it happens more than you would think, and you don't usually know it until after it's done. The amount of times that I've been like, I wonder, and you just look and you're like, oh, that's who I missed. Good. No, yeah, he gets his haircut at, or used to get his haircut. I don't think he does anymore. I think he might have left. But I don't know. He used to get, where I work, but I won't tell you where I work.
Darn.
But yeah, he's one of the nicest people in the world. Very, very nice. I didn't actually meet him at work though the first time. I met him in the wild, out and about on the street.
It was on like a sidewalk, right?
It was on the sidewalk in front of it was on the sidewalk in front of where I work on my lunch break. I like that about the job is that cool people come in.
It's a perk.
Yeah, it's a perk. It's a perk for sure. You know who I'm really trying to? There's a couple. Actually, I'm not gonna name drop them because I hate it when people do that live here, but I do it all the time. But there's a couple that are like really big that I'm waiting. He and the voice of they do.
Time to listen to the podcast.
Yeah, they do.
Hold on, let me load up Apple Podcast right now. What is it called? Oh, Stormy is now headbutting my ribs.
Stormy.
Yeah, no, she does. She eventually gets tired. This is her chair, not mine. She eventually gets tired of it and headbutts me to get out of it. And just takes my spot.
Oh, my dad, I'll be
anyway, though, what are we talking about?
Oh, just Emily was like mouthing words, but no sound was coming out.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else to say?
No, I don't. And with that, bye, Hank Green. See you guys later.